Tracy.
Hello, Sarah.
Thank you for arranging this time for me to talk you through my approach to the National Uniform Project.
Pleasure.
My name is Sarah Carr, and as you are aware, I am the coordinator for this project and look forward to working with you and the Uniform Committee in completing this project. I believe introducing a set of uniforms to be worn nationally is an ideal venture in achieving consistency within the company, ultimately aligning to the overall strategic goals listed within the company file. As displayed in the National Uniform Rollout Brief and Project Plan, a number of tasks are required to complete this project. Firstly, I'd like to just quickly go over those project steps.
Yes, that would be great to have them made a little clearer.
Okay, so our first task is determining available resources. This task needs to be defined prior to commencement, which explains its order in the project plan. If the company doesn't have the available resources, it can't be completed efficiently. Our second task is to set up the uniform committee, followed by identifying roles and responsibilities of each stakeholder involved. As you would be aware and surely agree that by defining roles in the beginning stages helps clarify specific job requirements of each committee participant. It also prevents complications later on. Developing the communication strategy shall follow. This will outline the goals and methods of the organisation in regards to the project and what the strategy will be. The Human Resources Department shall in particular be participating in this task. The next task requires any work health and safety risks to be determined. This task has been scheduled before uniform rollout due to the legislative requirements that Tri-Fitness must firstly address. As per reporting standards outlined in the original brief, the executive team wish to meet on the 15th of each month to discuss progress. The report meeting will coincide with Task 5, determining WHS requirements. This purposely ensures all WHS requirements have been foreseen and, if not, sufficient time allocated to reassess. The progress report meeting will cover all previous tasks as well. I myself will be meeting with you over the duration of these meetings.
That's wonderful. Have you considered gauging employees' input in this project? It would provide valuable insight.
Oh, a good suggestion, Tracy. Actually, the following task will be the undertaking of a staff survey. This will focus primarily on particular requirements the uniform should cater to. This survey task has been planned strategically in the project plan to ensure the Uniform Committee have clear staff expectations before possible vendors are contacted or designs are made. The next project step is monitoring budgets, followed by sourcing uniform vendors. Once vendors have been sourced, a tender document will then be created. This document will list all potential vendors ready for distribution. On the 15th, once again, a progress report must be made. This report, like the previous month, will coincide with an already running task. However, this will serve positively. The tender document may be analysed by the executive team before distribution occurs. The following step will be the actual distribution of the tender document. The document will require clear and precise response times. Additional consideration must be given to vendors who are prompt to respond. The creation of the uniform policy will then be next, followed by the selection of the successful vendor. That's Clara's responsibility. The initial order will then be placed. The successful vendor will also be selected on the outlined timeframe they propose to produce the uniforms, and this will be documented into the project plan once the final vendor is selected. Launch date will then fall into the new year. Arrangements must be in place regarding Christmas and New Year closure. The rollout brief has encouraged continued feedback after rollout. This task is to gauge the project's success from employees' points of view. And lastly, the final report is the concluding task. It will need to be presented 1 month following the implementation of the new uniforms. It will be presented to the executive team.
Okay, thanks for that, Sarah. Now, why have you placed each task in that order?
Tracy, the reason in which I have placed each task in this particular order is because the following task cannot be completed without the previous. For example, roles and responsibilities of each stakeholder can't be identified without the actual committee firstly being set up. Or perhaps another example, staff requirements should be sourced first before vendors are even considered.
Okay. Now, please list some of the resources you, or perhaps the team, require for this project.
Obvious resources within any project are pretty straightforward, including the labour, equipment and materials used. I'd like to delve a little deep into these, however. Firstly, with labour, this is going to include Tri-Fitness employees, as well as vendors, manufacturers and delivery drivers. Equipment may come down to even the simplest things like computers, phones, telecommunication equipment. Then going a little bigger with the actual machinery equipment to make and produce the uniforms. Material resources cover the consumable side of things like paper to produce progress reports and hard copies of the uniform policy, and fabric to actually construct the uniforms out of, not to mention the thread, the logo, embroidery and buttons.
Thanks, Sarah. That's great. Now, in regards to the email you sent me, you've mentioned a recommendation. Please elaborate on that.
Yes, Tracy, I had the suggestion to use Microsoft Project. The basic Word document was used to create the project and budget plan was sufficient. However, it was very time consuming to produce. MS Project, as I'm sure you are aware, is a project management software program. It's designed to assist project managers and leaders in developing a plan, assigning resources to tasks, tracking progress, managing the budget and analysing workloads. I understand that's already what I've created in Word. However, this program is a lot faster and more detailed. I'm sure Tri-Fitness would benefit from such a program, even purely just to save time.
Okay, thanks for that suggestion, but perhaps due to the cost restrictions regarding MS Project, for us currently, it would be best to continue using Excel spreadsheets and Word documents.
Not a concern, Tracy. As it does cost to install MS Project, it may currently be unfeasible. But perhaps in the future it can be addressed in front of the board to gain interest in installing it and improving efficiency. I will make note on that. Now, just back to the project plan quickly, Tracy, please. If there are any tasks you feel should be placed in a different order, is there?
So far, no. I believe the order is making sense. However, this may be revised throughout the project at the executive meetings.
Yes, Tracy, absolutely. I understand. Some changes won't be made apparent till closer to the actual task. Now, moving on to implementation, what's the next step, Tracy?
Now, it is imperative prior to the commencement that necessary approval is sought. That means from Clara and the entire executive team. Once approved, we can go from there.
Okay, thanks for that, Tracy. Do you have any other questions today regarding the proposed plans?
Not at this point.
All right, thank you so much for your time today, Tracy.
Thank you.